So we're in the midst of Ellul, preparing for a new year. Ani l'doidi v'doidi li, I'm to my beloved and my beloved is to me. The acronym for the month of Ellul. What does it mean? I'm to my beloved and my beloved is to me. Why not the other way around? Actually, King Solomon, Shlomo HaMelech, also says the verse doidi li v'ani lo, that my beloved is to me and I am to him. So it works both ways. What is the difference between the two? Is who is the initiator? Who is the initiator? So during the, hello Sharon, welcome. During the, I'm just going to mute everybody. I'm sorry. And if you have any questions or anything, of course, feel free. So Pesach and Shavuos are holidays that God initiates. He initiated, took us out of Egypt. He initiated and gave us the Torah. So it's Anila Deidi. It is my beloved who initiated, and we're to him as a result. But now it comes for the 7th month, Chodesh Hashvi, which is satiated. 7 is also Soiveya, that it's satiated with many holidays. And the main theme is to reconnect with Hashem. Tshuva, which is the 10 days of penitence, which is primarily what we prepare for in the month of Ellul. So it's Anila Deidi, it's about us returning to God. So we're initiating the relationship in a sense. And then V'doidi, then my beloved is to me. That is the basic idea. Now, with that being said, still in this month, God gives us so what I'm looking for, an inspiration of his presence. And it's the Alter Rebbe gives a beautiful metaphor of the king in the field. Usually the king is found in his palace, especially Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. Hashem is found in his palace, in the inner palace, and many rooms that one has to get to until you finally get into the inner palace where the king sits on his throne. But now he's in the field, which means he's more accessible. He's accessible to us. And not only is he accessible, but anybody that approaches him is approaching and getting a beautiful wide smile and a loving connection. Now, what does that mean? To see the king in the field, he's not in his full garb. He's not in his full regal self-expression as he would be on the throne, where there you're in awe, in the days of awe. God is on the throne. But here he's in the field. You have to want to go to the king, even though he makes himself accessible. And in that respect, therefore, God is making himself available. That being said, though, since he's not in his regal garb on the royal throne, the awe is not there. And the fact that a person wants to approach, it's their effort that they're making to approach. That's the idea that I am to my beloved, to Hashem, going to him in the field to find God and to connect to Hashem. So this is the month of Ellul then. And as we said, Hashem shows a broad smile for those who are coming. And what are you coming with? Coming with the desire to get close. And what is that desire to get close? Is to fix what you need to fix. Because this is a time to take stock of the things that we need to fix. And this idea ties in beautifully with the Parsha. Teztei, when you go out to battle, Al al oivecha, upon your enemy, but nasa Hashem alekecha, Hashem, your God will give the enemy in your hand, b'shavisa shivyo, and you will take captive. You will take captives. Um, what does this mean? So the simple meaning is literally when you go out to battle, right? We need to sometimes wage battle. Ultimately, the only reason we want battle is in order to have peace, in order to maintain peace or to have peace. So sometimes there's a need to go to battle. Now, that's the literal meaning, speaking about battle and the protection of the Jewish people, defense of the Jewish people, or even other times that are necessary for other reasons. But since the Torah is eternal, it has to speak to us today. What does it mean to go out to battle? And what is this passage, and what is its message? So Chassidus explains the Alter Rebbe, and the Rebbe gives further elaboration. What it's speaking about is, the Rebbe once told someone by Yechidus, they were speaking about their trials and tribulations and the struggles of life. And the Rebbe smiled and says, "You were never promised a rose garden. Everybody looks for the rose garden, for Gan Eden, right? Bliss. That's what people look for. We were never promised that. You know what we were promised, though? Adam la'amal yulad. A person is created to struggle. That's what you were promised. We're going to struggle. The question is, what are we struggling with? Is the battle? Where's the battleground? Who, what, where, when are we struggling? So for most people, the struggle is about getting the things they want in life, right? Getting more, whatever the more is. The problem with that, of course, is more usually necessitates that someone else has it, if it's material things in particular. So then what are you struggling? You're struggling with another to make $1, your competition in work, your in whatever area in life, it's about having more. So then you're going to be always struggling with someone outside of you. Welcome, Diane. You're going to be struggling with somebody or something that's outside of you. The problem with that is, of course, you don't know how the outcome is going to be. When you have a struggle with another person, with another issue, another thing in life, you don't know how that outcome is going to be. But here the Torah is telling us that God is going to give you in your hand, and you're going to take captive. You're going to be victorious. So how is that possible that the verse could tell us that we're going to be victorious? Who says? Maybe not. We meet circumstances that we struggle with, and we come away hopefully not bitter, hopefully not soiled, but you can't say that you've gained the so to speak, the enemy or the adversary in your hand, and that you have taken captives. How so? So, of course, this leads us to what Chassidus says, that in reality, any outside battle with any person or any situation is really not on the outside. Really, where it begins is on the inside, within me. It starts, and in a sense, really ends with me. Begins and ends with me. What does that mean?
Head out here, we're just saying who you have to go to now.
Okay, Israel, so hopefully now you'll understand. So, of course, we can't control another. We don't know if we can have them in our hand. And ultimately, that's not the point, to have anybody or anything that will be in our hands that we have taken a captive of, so to speak. But what it means as Teztei, when you go out to battle, to wage, to struggle, know that the struggle is only within you. It's not about a struggle with another. It's not the other person and their disposition that might be a nasty disposition. They say nasty things that are hurtful. They're not the ones you need to struggle with. It's with ourselves and how we look at it, how we feel about it, and how we respond to it. That's where the struggle begins. And in a sense, that's where the struggle ends, in a sense. Meaning that if I recognize that the battle is within me, the other person is the other person. The event is the event. We can't control that. The only question is, how do I deal with it? That is totally in our hands. And this is what the struggle is saying. Teztei. Now, the important point over there, it's interesting, every word over here. Teztei al-Melchama. So the battle then is with our negative side, with our evil inclination, is with our animal soul. That's the ultimate enemy that we have. There's no enemy from without that is a true enemy. Even to stand up against anti-Semitism, as Andrew, you're promoting over here, we have to stand up against the negative part within me, if I'm going to even stand up against anti-Semitism. Not to say that there are not negative things out there. There are not battles that we don't have to deal with, and negative things and things that we got to do 100%. But the question is, where's the starting point? Are they the starting point, or am I the starting point? That person with a nasty attitude at work, that person who I love dearly, but it's hard to like them sometimes because of the way they act. Where does it begin? It doesn't begin with them. Teztei el Muhammad, and that is a challenge, because naturally we're going to look at the other person. What do you mean? They're being nasty. They're being negative, and it's not that we're whitewashing it. That's not the point over here. We're not making as if they don't have an issue. Okay, they have an issue. They have their challenge. They have their struggle, and maybe they don't even realize it, or they don't engage in it. They just totally allow themselves to be taken on autopilot. Okay, but I can't control that. I can't be them. So that is the word's Teztei. Teztei means you go out. Where are you going out? Where are you going? Where are you going? If it's a battle with you, where are you going? Out of your comfort zone. Out of your natural inclination. Natural inclination is to point a finger. Natural inclination is to see the issue outside of you. That's our natural inclination. That's the human condition. So Teztei, go out of that. When you're engaging in and how are you doing that? By the fact that you realize that the battle begins within you, and how you're going to respond in the way that Hashem wants you to respond, the way that is the appropriate way to respond. That is getting out of our comfort zone, because our comfort zone, again, is naturally to see that negativity for what it is, and point a finger and give it its identity, give it its title, give it its, call it out. And maybe you have to. That's maybe. But that's only if you struggled first with yourself. Am I coming from a good place? Am I coming from a healthy place? Or am I coming really from a place that wants to get back at them? So therefore, Teztei, you have to go out of your comfort zone in that battle, because that battle is within. Then Hashem says the following: the Teztei al Mochama al oivecha. Then what's going to be is going to be al oivecha, upon your enemy. It should, in Hebrew, for those who understand Hebrew, it should say be oivecha, with your enemy, or im oivecha, with your enemy. But it says al. Al means upon, meaning you're over your enemy. You're greater than your enemy. In other words, that negativity within you, you can overcome it. That the evil inclination that wants you to just shoot on, to shoot from the hip, autopilot, we are greater than it. We're upon it. We're over it. But that's only when we know and we are committed that that's where the beginning of the battle is not on the outside, but on the inside with what I got to deal with. When I have that commitment, ready to go to that comfort zone and to look on the inside and how to properly handle whatever negativities are on the outside, then God promises we're going to be greater than it in us. And ultimately, God will give it into our hands. What can he give in our hands? Ourselves. But not only ourselves, that we will be, in an upright place, in a healthy place, but then we will even take captives. Captives ultimately is something outside of you, beyond you, right? It's not you. What is the captives? There are sparks of holiness in every situation that we go to that are hidden. Righteous people know that they're there and they go for those sparks. We're not holy, so we go there for our own agenda. But if we know that the battle is from within, and to overcome my negativity, my challenges from within, and then deal without, then those sparks of holiness that are there in that event, in that situation, and whatever given, you know, thing we need to deal with, the sparks that are there of holiness, we will be able to elevate it. We will be able then. We will take that which is captive. What's captive? The ultimate captive thing is the spark of God that is in exile. That's hidden in the material world. Naturally, it's hidden because we don't see the presence of God, and it's hidden in often in a relationship. It's hidden in a situation that we're dealing with because we don't sense the spark of God. But the spark of God, when we go with this manner, we will be able to take that with us, and that will um, be sort of the gift that we gain. So we gain. That doesn't mean necessarily we change the person. It doesn't necessarily mean that. But well, it doesn't mean maybe we have planted a seed because of the way we dealt with it, with that individual or with that situation, that toxic situation, um, perhaps. But there are sparks that have been hidden there that we've been able, that Hashem has given us our hands, and we've been able to take those as captives, that they in a sense belong to us because of the way we acted in rising above the human condition and the natural response that I would have, and then I will be able to um, take something from there. Again, what that means in any given situation is, doesn't mean you got the person and you transformed the other person. Doesn't necessarily mean that at all. But there, in every situation, there are sparks, not only in ourselves, right? Because they're in our animal soul. There is that spark of godliness. It's also trapped and hidden. And by acting and behaving in the right way that we've just explained, going out of your comfort zone and dealing with what I have to deal with in myself, and then dealing it on the outside. Um, so here the verse is saying that you're taking captive of something beyond that, beyond yourself, something more. So there's something in every situation, that there's sparks of holiness that are captured, that are in exile, that need to be redeemed. Sometimes it could be just you made a blessing somewhere. You went somewhere and you there's a Hayom Yom from the Rebbe that two I think it was the Rebbe Rashab was witnessing two Hasidim that were standing by a tree conversing on some Torah Hasidic teachings, and the Rebbe Rashab said, since the beginning of creation, that tree has been waiting that two Jews would come and speak of Torah, speak in holiness and godliness, that the tree that has the spark of holiness that is hidden within it should be redeemed. And that tree and the sparks of holiness that are there, that God animates it with, have been elevated as a result of just the fact that two people engaged in Torah study. So what it means to redeem captives, doesn't necessarily mean you redeem a person, doesn't mean you redeem the situation. It could mean that just the fact that you spoke Torah, you said a blessing in a place, and you then you uplifted and elevated the environment as a result. It could mean that. It could mean in many different ways, but that could be definitely an example of it. That's how we can prepare properly for this in this Ellul. A beautiful way to prepare, and Hashem should give us the power and the capability to continue our preparations. Continue our preparations, because the more we prepare for something, the more that we can redeem that which we need to redeem. And we all need this coming year that we should have we should be written and sealed for a good year, a sweet year, a corona-free year, a year where we can gather together and not worry, a year that we can have the final and ultimate redemption of Mashiach now. So everybody can unmute. How do I unmute you all? I didn't even see that. Oh, all right. Any questions? Any comments? Thank you. A good Shabbos to Lou and to Karen, to Robert, to Richard and Michelle, Elizabeth and Joelle and Julie, Tim and Yaakov, James, and everybody. Okay, folks. And everybody here, we have with us Heather and Denise and Sarah Malka, Batya and David, Linda and Diane and Andrew and Sharon. All right, folks. Thank you. 1 second before I forget. Wish you a wonderful and good Shabbos. Thank you all for joining.
You too, Rabbi.
Yeah.
Shabbos.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Everyone.
Be well.
Thank you. Bye.